Morning. It is Friday, April 6th. It means tomorrow's my dad's birthday. Today's going to be a general life update. Nothing too deep today, but so it's Friday. It's the end of my first week on my new shift. My new shift working until 9 o'clock. And I kind of wanted to talk about what I feel about that. So, the hours themselves are good for my son, for sure. Like this morning, I had time to play with a puzzle with him, and we played with a balloon for a while, and I just got to spend some fun time with him that wasn't just, okay, let's get ready to go, let's get our breakfast done, let's get dressed, let's get to grandma's. It was nice. He did have me up before my alarm went off, but that's okay. I went to bed earlier last night than what I normally do. In fact, this is one of the first mornings I really got to do this. My in-laws have been in town all week, and he's been staying with them at the hotel and doing stuff with them all day. And he's really enjoyed that. But with that being said, with my schedule, I really didn't get to spend any time with him. In fact, I didn't see my mother-in-law at all. And I only seen my father-in-law for about 5 minutes when he picked up my son on Tuesday morning. But I didn't see him all week until today. They're leaving to go back home today, so he stayed at home last night. So this morning was the first chance I really got to enjoy that, and that was really nice. Like I said, normally he's going to bed when I get home, and in the morning it's all about getting ready to go and making sure he gets his breakfast and all that stuff. But so that part of it is the good part, and that's really the reason for all of it, to be honest. Plus, it does, volunteering for the shift that nobody wants does obviously put some points in my column for work, and obviously I want to do what I can to do what's best for the company, and in the process move on up. So all that's part of it. I can't I'd be lying if I said it wasn't. But so there's that. The last 2 hours, the 2 extra hours I'm working, we haven't had any. Again, I work at a technical support center. My job typically isn't on the phone, but that last 2 hours, that is my job, to be ready, take any incoming calls. There's 3 of us on shift, and there's not been there really hasn't been any calls coming in, so that's it's been really slow. So the nice thing is I've been able to get caught up and do all those things that I normally can't do, because I'm either busy on the phones, what little bit I'm on the phones, or I'm doing my on-demand jobs that I have throughout the day. So it's nice that I'm not being pulled in 5 different directions, and I can just get stuff done that it needs to be done during that time. So again, that's another plus. So that being said, anytime there's a change, or anytime you do anything, there's got to be a downside to it, even if they are small. One thing is, with my previous shift, our call center it closed at 7. I got off at 7, or I should say the call stopped at 7. But I, as my position, I always stuck around until the specialists that are on live calls were done, making sure they don't need any assistance with anything and all of that. So there was basically, for lack of a better thing, there was always some built-in overtime every week. 3 to 6 hours a week of just built-in overtime that was pretty much a given. So with my new shift, since there's not that demand, especially since we don't have any calls coming in currently, Granted, that may change down the road when we actually, get some volume of calls coming in during that time. But, now since I have time to wrap things up and there's not specialists on the phone still after closing and all that, I'm walking out right at 9 o'clock. So that bit of OT that I was getting every week is going to be gone. So that's a bit of a drop in pay, but granted, again, it is overtime, but it's only a few hours a week. It's not going to kill us. If our budget was that tight, we have bigger problems. But so there's that. Obviously the money was nice. And then, pretty much the only other drawback is that, and I mentioned that before, is that I don't get to spend as much time with my wife. Granted, when we got home in the evening, we didn't do a whole lot besides, sit and watch our TV shows or whatever, but we were together, and if we wanted to have a conversation, we could, and now we don't have that, so that is definitely a change. But other than that, again, in the long run, all of the positive, far and beyond outweighs the negative. So, and besides, my wife and I, we have the weekend, so, it all works out good for us. So it's, at the end of my first week, so 4 days under my belt on this particular shift, it's good. It's good. So far, it's really good. Again, I'm sure, as time progresses and we get more calls, things will evolve and change. But as of right now, it's a good thing for me, and it obviously helps out the company because they don't have to figure out some sort of rotation for this late night shift, and yeah, it all works out good. So, other than that, in my spare time this week, I've been doing more Minecraft, expanding my sorter. I did discover some things this weekend with the sorter. I understand the concept of the sorter, so I don't know why I didn't think about this, but the only thing that we can put through the sorter are things that stack. So, like, for example, most items in the game, you can put them in stacks of 64 or smaller. So, but there are some items such as your weapons and your tools and armor. Those don't stack. You can't have a stack of pickaxes or a stack of swords. So, for that reason, since they can't stack, they can't go through the sorter. At least not the sorter that I have. Now, that being said, there might be a way, and I'll have to do some digging to once I get the whole thing completed, to have like a separate sorter. I know there's some ways of handling it, like a separate sorter for those sort of items. I'll have to look into it, but currently we're just sorting those manually. Granted, those things we don't have to make a whole lot of them ahead of time, but it's kind of nice, to make a chest full of pickaxes. So when you need more, you just go grab them out of there and get back to your mining or whatever you're doing, so you don't have to keep stopping and making them. So we have a little storeroom that we'll use for now to put those sort of things in. So other than that, the sorter is coming along quite good. It's time consuming. There's a lot to it, and there's a lot of items in the game, and I definitely need to make sure I leave it in a way that it can still be expanded, because as new as new things come through, new expansions, or not, they don't really call them expansions, updates or versions or whatever, there's more items that get added. So I need to make sure I leave it so it can be expanded and that sort of stuff. So let's see. Other than that, the week's been pretty quiet. That's about it this week. I enjoyed my new shift and playing some Minecraft in my spare time. I do need to put Minecraft aside because like a week from tomorrow is our next D&D session, so I need to be prepared for that. I did have breakfast with my pastor this week. I talked about some opportunities in the church that Jill and I are discussing and is discussing being a part of, and I really like where he's going with that, and it's just a matter of how we fit into that. So, well, instead of just rambling on about nothing, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up and let you guys go, and I will talk to you on my next video. You guys take care. Bye now.